Welcome back, YouTubers, to another Smackdown review with us, the British Fist. The dynamic dudes consisting of Mr. Parkin, Cody Rhodes, mark number 1, and this guy sitting next to me, nodding ever so gently his head. It's none other than the one and only NJ. What's up? Indeed. You guys should subscribe above, like this video, and comment your thoughts on this edition of Friday Night Smackdown in that comment section down there.
Make sure you contact us in the links in the box below.
Yes, and I must admit, NJ, I do open this video with a very somber note. Whose t-shirt am I wearing here, NJ? Cody Rhodes, am I correct?
Cody Rhodes.
And Cody Rhodes is the, what, an inter-something continental champion, am I right?
He is the intercontinental champion of the world, and he is the champion of WWE and Smackdown, yes.
Yes, indeed. And who's my favourite wrestler, NJ?
Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan. Cody Rhodes. So why the fuck wasn't Cody Rhodes on this show? The Intercontinental Champion, involved in a feud with Big Show, a big star potentially for the WWE, my favourite wrestler, one of the reasons I watched Smackdown, and he wasn't on the damn show. What the fuck's going on?
One of the reasons. That's the only reason, Dan.
Was he on Superstars or something? I don't know.
No, with Cody Rhodes, you do expect him to make the appearances, start to build up his momentum going up towards the main event. Yes, he's the IC champion at the minute. Eventually, he will lose that and go into the main event and become the World Heavyweight Champion. So for him not to appear on a regular basis, yes, he may have been on Raw, but forget about Raw. His show is SmackDown. For him not to appear on that, it's really taking a superstar out of SmackDown and really not progressing him to where he should be.
Mind you, there was no Triple H or Kane either, so none of our favourites were on the show. So who do we have to root for anyway? But we'll go with the opener. Sheamus and Orton versus Del Rio and Jericho in a match which was kind of rehashed from Raw. Very strange opening with a match, really, wasn't it? You had the same tag match from Raw. They went about 5 minutes, so it ended up pretty much in a DQ. Noticed how Del Rio had no car this week. It was kind of like, you ain't getting no heel heat. You ain't got a car this week, brother.
Yes, it was a bit of a shame. Like, throughout the night, as you'll find out later, the focus weren't on Del Rio, not really. And the horrible thing is, Del Rio is, as we've seen, a ex-champion, and this was his time to get back into the title picture, getting back into a name for himself. But this match was basically all around Orton, Sheamus, and a bit of Jericho. Yeah, really. This basically what this set up was 2 single matches throughout the night. Now, my question is, do you really have to showcase these guys wrestling each other when they're going to be wrestling each other again in 2 singles matches later? Kind of like the whole Daniel Bryan Sheamus thing last week. Could this not have been probably a promo segment to help set up the match with Johnny Ace setting up 2 of the matches or something? I'm just putting it out there, just so we don't have to see these guys wrestle multiple times throughout the night. We do say it's a good way to start a show with a match, but in this case, just do something different. If like one of them came to the ring, maybe it was Sheamus again, or even Orton saying how he demands a title match or something like that, or something interesting. Then they all came out, they all started brawl, and then the individual matches were made. Something like that, but instead of giving this match and then 2 other matches, it's pretty much clustered and just not a good way to flow the show or hype their matches up.
And we saw in both the single matches that we've just seen a lot of the stuff already in this tag match, the kind of stuff they were doing in the ring, and just have a promo segment, set these 2 matches up, and then let them wrestle. It would have worked a bit better that way, in my opinion. But there we go. Next we had, man, this is the highlight of the night for me. AJ Lee versus Caitlyn in a we're 2 nerds that Daniel Parkin finds hot. Let's go at it in the ring. And what happened, NJ? Did AJ not take the floor with Caitlyn in what was like the hottest match ever? Did AJ not show how she was a great heel in this match and how she is talent? Oh my god, that was just such a great match for me.
Again, for Divas, you do expect short matches, and that's exactly what we've got again. Another short match. Again, not really doing it for Caitlyn, but with AJ being the future diva of the WWE, she's of course going to get the win. But that just worked the focus of this match. The main focus was...
Yes! 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 We get Daniel Bryan coming out, for some reason, I don't know why, saying how impressed he was with AJ's passion, and how he wants to move on to Caitlyn, and AJ wasn't happy, and I just wish I was backstage because I would have got some nice kinky sex if she came backstage and I was there to greet her. Oh, fucking hell, why did Daniel Bryan come up to Caitlyn?
Let me just go on a small rant here, yeah? These stupid Daniel Bryan relationships get ridiculous. He's using wrestlers to put him over. He's using divas to try and make him look important, like he's Mr. Hotshot. Daniel Bryan is not Mr. Hotshot, and I'm really thinking it's ridiculous He's gone from AJ, and AJ's shown, oh, Daniel Bryan's not with me, so I've got to get angry. And Caitlin's just, for some reason, joining forces with Daniel Bryan. I'm just waiting for this whole relationship thing to move on, and after the pay-per-view or whenever, I don't know when it's going to end, but I just did not like this.
Hooray for 15+ minute videos, AJ. I said AJ. God damn, things are changing around here. AJ's getting my mind. Big Show versus Daniel Bryan was next. This went about a minute and a half. You were 1 minute into the match. You had the yes lock being applied, and Johnny Ace rang the bell and said, "Oh, you got to apologise to me, Big Show, because you made fun of my voice. Because no one ever makes fun of Johnny Ace's voice and gets away with it, brother."
I'm Johnny Ace, and I'm not making fun of you, John Ace. Come on, fire me. Come on, give me some insight. Oh my gosh, that was ridiculous. I'm really thinking, when I saw this, I just thought, okay, you've got a match at the pay-per-view. Are they going to build up to some, like, John Cena getting a face force coming out, and they're all taking care of John Laurinaitis? Maybe Big Show's going to come out and give him world's strongest punch, or strongest slap, whatever's going to happen. I'm expecting this to build up to something, and the worst thing of all, they're continuing on to Raw, where Big Show's got to apologise on Raw. Just move on!
Could have at least had Cody Rhodes come in and maybe make fun of Big Show to continue their feud, but all I can say is, people power! We'll move on. Ryback versus Heath Slater. What was it that Heath Slater said? That Ryback had a pea brain. One man, rock band, you! If there was one person I was glad to see Ryback squashing, it was that talentless Wendy's ginger, no tan, fucking no talent Nexus reject Heath fucking Slater.
The whole thing about this match is it was a squash match which we're expecting, and also at least not a local wrestler. He's actually progressing now, and using Heath Slater, the rest of that is being used to be a jobber to give other wrestlers a win. It makes it that way, so all I can say is well done Ryback.
Yeah, well done Ryback. Pretty much. Feed him more. Feed him perhaps next, maybe Jinder Mahal. Antonio Cesaro versus Alex Riley. A little rant from us here before we go into this match. Is it me, NJ, or should Alex Riley be kind of better, not really be a jobber? Does Alex Riley scream out to you, oh, maybe we could get him involved in a feud on SmackDown? Just, yeah.
When Alex Riley first brought in, we actually saw something straight away. People saw it, Miz saw it, the W saw it. But then for some reason, when they came to feuding with the Miz, it just broke down, and now you see him doing nothing. He comes into SmackDown only to have these flipping short matches, keyword. And I'm really expecting for him to be, again, a new FCW wrestler. Alex Riley's been there for a while now, made a name for himself. Yep. He goes into a 2.5 minute match, and that was it. And Alex Riley, I expect more from you. And hopefully, the fact that you're appearing on SmackDown is a hope. I hope that's probably not going to happen. Eventually, they're going to use him in a way that's going to make the IC title have more possible feuds.
Yeah, possibly, because we do need a babyface to go after a mid-card belt. And all I can say is hashtag push Alex Riley. That's all I'll say about that one. Antonio Cesaro gets the victory in quite a short amount of time. I love how they have Teddy Long saying, like, oh, he's from Switzerland. He plays rugby. He is Mr. Antonio Cesaro. And then you have Aksana saying her and Teddy were just friends, and him and Antonio Cesaro kiss. Oh, her and him and Teddy Long and Antonio Cesaro kissing. Ugh, that would be awful.
Yeah, it would have been really bad. Ugh. Antonio and Credibil, pure awkwardness, not a good thing to look at all. But again, this would be a perfect time when I said during the video, if Maxine was Antonio's girlfriend, and that would give Maxine a big push, and Xana out of here.
Yeah, exactly. So Antonio Cesaro winning. Yay, whatever, I'll go with it. After this, our main event, the first of the two main event singles matches for the night, Randy Orton versus Alberto Del Rio. Del Rio went after the shoulder. You had Orton RKO Ricardo off the top rope. How fucking awesome. I love Ricardo in these spots. He did a splash on whoever on Raw, and now he's getting RKO from the top. He's gone from ladders to tables. God, just get this guy in the ring. I want to see him wrestle.
Yeah, again with Alberto, yeah, he's got the help of Rodriguez, but it still wasn't enough to get him over importance in SmackDown. And this match was basically, again, all about Orton.
Yeah, well, pretty much. I mean, you had the disqualification, and then you had Del Rio getting the armbar in on Orton to try and get some heat. It's just a shame that heat can never ever continue in the main event when you're involved with Randy fucking Orton. After this, we had R-Truth versus Jack Swagger. All I can say is, NJ, yeah, a tag team feud. We finally have a tag team feud out of somewhere.
As much as I'm going to cheer to this, again, I've said this many weeks before, 1 minute you see a possible feud for Brodus Clay against Ziggler. Now all of a sudden they're in a tag team feud. So you're moving it from Brodus Clay having a feud, giving Brodus Clay some kind of feud or a push, and all of a sudden him going back to doing nothing, and the tag team getting built. In a way, I'm a bit shame. But at the same time, tag team should be seen as more important than Brodus Clay.
Exactly, and we're getting it at the pay-per-view, and I look forward to it. You had Abraham Washington, who's now signed Mason Ryan in his new Enterprise faction. But Abraham Washington, man! And Kofi basically hits Swagger with the Trouble in Paradise, which allows R-Truth to get the win. You know, it was like a basic segment, but the fact that we're getting some kind of tag team feud pleases me, and the fact that we got a tag match involving a new tag team after this pleased me even more. I did like the tag team segments tonight. They were both kind of, they were both after each other.
It's interesting that they're actually trying to make the tag team mean something, especially on SmackDown. Let's just hope that they can make this go on after the pay-per-view and lead up to probably a bigger match or a bigger tag team feud in the later weeks. You
had Santino and Zack Ryder, who were Team Cobra, Broski, whatever you want to call them, versus Titus O'Neil and Darren Young. And they finally have matching gear, which is something you need when you're pushing a tag team. Matching tights. Thank you very much for something simple, WWE, there. I must admit, I do like this O'Neil and Young tag team with the whole, millions of dollars, or whatever the fuck they do. I can't even do it, but it's funny fucking shit to me. That's entertaining.
Yeah, but I'm going to say from the last week, or whenever I said it,
they're not gay.
Okay.
They're not gay. Look, NJ, they're not gay, alright? For God's sake, they're just a tag team. Yeah. What did you think of this match?
Pretty strong. You had Ryder looking back to where he used to, almost getting the win. Obviously, the new tag team getting the win was the right step to do it. They're getting the push now. But they got a winner, a fake tag team, so it made me think, okay, at least they've got a win. But it just didn't make me think, wow, yes, look like they're going to be a great tag team for the future, but they got a win.
One thing is, they'll probably give the belts to these guys, seeing as they've got a face team on there. These guys will probably be the next champions. Also, Santino Marella is the US champion. Shouldn't you be trying to concentrate on getting him a feud for the US belt? Just saying.
That's why I question this tag team they're in. He should be going off having a title match or just something.
But the Darren Young and Titus O'Neil thing was entertaining. I did find that entertaining. I know it's something new, but it was, to me, entertaining the way they addressed the crowd after the match and like, millions and millions of dollars. I thought that was pretty fucking funny, if corny, but that's just me. We had an interview with Damien Sandow, and I'll say this, MJ. Damien Sandow is a very, very well-spoken man. And it's funny how that man like Damien Sandow can come in and totally pwn the teacher Matt Striker. You're welcome. Funkasaurus versus Hunico. We'll just move on. Funkasaurus versus Hunico. Pre-match, you had Camacho and Hunico attacking the Funkasaurus, and I'm sitting there thinking, this would be a good way to get heat on Hunico, and then you had Funkasaurus go on and win the match, but whatever.
Well, to be honest, this Hunico thing, I don't really care, because he came in looking quite strong, but he dropped quickly.
Yeah.
So for Funkasaurus to get the win and all that, it was going to happen.
Oh,
dance off, bye Hunico. Brodus Clay, get into something, because you're going nowhere once again. So there we go.
We notice how his reaction has kind of just gone, since he hasn't been in a feud. Now, why not let the heels get some heat here, and so they can actually cheer Brodus Clay, and the Funkadactyls can do their thing, and skip, and but there we go. There's Funkasaurus again on TV, whatever. Guess what main event of the evening? A match which we've seen before on the SmackDown main event, Sheamus versus Chris Jericho. Really wasn't about the match. I mean, these guys had a pretty decent match. These two are pretty good in the ring. We saw them at the end of the Royal Rumble giving a pretty good match. It was all about the post-match angle, really, when you had... They basically made Del Rio look like shit, didn't they, at the end of this? Fucking hell.
It's like I said throughout the show, this was not Del Rio's night. This was not about Del Rio. Del Rio returning, maybe he shouldn't have returned, because the WWE didn't really give much focus with him. They've not really made him seem like a big deal, like they did when they first brought him in. It's just like Del Rio's there to probably give Sheamus the win at the pay-per-view or whatever's going to happen. It's just that Del Rio is not like a candidate to win or a proper strong wrestler going into this pay-per-view. Yes, it's not the go-home show, so maybe next week will be his chance, but I just don't believe in it at all.
You got to get some heels. You got to get some heat on these heels, WWE. You can't just have the faces coming out on top all the damn time. You had RKO on Del Rio, then you had Sheamus Bro Kick on Del Rio. It's like, how the fuck are the heels supposed to get any fucking heat when you're booking them like this, especially a guy like Del Rio who needs fucking heat.
There is one positive thing I'm going to say about Del Rio. One positive thing. And RKO did not keep him down.
Oh, yeah, because it took a bro kick then to keep him down, didn't it? By the next Breakfast Club member, Sheamus! But there we go. I don't know, man. What did you think of this SmackDown overall this week? Same shit, same different day?
I can't find much entertainment about it. I just didn't feel, there's some movement towards the pay-per-view, but nothing stood out to me like, I'm going to remember that for this SmackDown. That SmackDown was the highlight. That was just nothing there for me.
I mean, at the moment, SmackDown is really going down, like, with no Cody Rhodes on there as well for me. But not Cody Rhodes, because he's going uphill. SmackDown, to me, is just a show that's it's just a B show. And even though Chris Jericho was on the show and John Laurinaitis was on the show, this kind of makes it feel a bit more important. There were some segments on the show which did well going into maybe there were some entertaining parts for me personally on SmackDown. So I'm not going to bury it totally. It's just that there's just not much going on SmackDown at the moment, which really wants to make you want to watch the show.
With all the wrestlers that SmackDown possibly have, you have Cody Rhodes, Kane, who didn't make it to the show, which was pretty sad. You have Christian, who could be making a return. So there's wrestlers that could come back and help SmackDown out. But the main thing I'm thinking about now is this Washington. Who's going to come next in this team? What direction are they going to go in? What younger talent is he going to give a chance to? So that's the big question is. But the thing is, we're now leading into the go-home show week for the pay-per-view, over the limit. Let's just see what they can do next week.
Yeah, they will need to hammer down this pay-per-view, which has had 3 weeks of build. I do like the focus on young talent and new talent on SmackDown. It's just, there's not really much else going on in the show. Do you reckon they'll just do Jericho versus Orton after this whole Fatal 4-Way thing? Because I think they probably will do.
Yeah, because, again, we can't really see the titles changing hands.
No, of course not.
So at the end of the day, to give Jericho a feud, Orton a feud, it could be the possible way to go, yes.
Especially seeing as Orton did take Jericho out, there would be reason for these two guys to feud. It's just a shame they haven't acknowledged that yet on WWE TV, from what I've heard, but there we go. SmackDown for me gets a C+. It wasn't a terrible show, but it wasn't really in that sort of B range, and it hasn't been in that range now for a long time, and it really needs, I will say it's less filler this week, which at least helped the grade.
I'm going to give it, just again, as I wasn't fully entertained, I'm going to probably give it a C, just because I really did not feel this was the greatest show. I really weren't paying too much attention to some of the segments, just because they weren't entertaining enough. But overall, I don't think it did its job. Not really.
Give us your thoughts, of course, on your opinions down in that comment section below. And I'm going to pass you on now to the proper main event. The proper main event. No, not Cody Rhodes. No, not Mr. Parkin. No, not R-Truth. Not John Laurinaitis. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's NJ, of course.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, shut up. Right now, people, from Mr. Parkin and me and Jake, hopefully you enjoyed this show as much as we did, in a way. Until next time, people, goodbye.